Murdoch cited the sell-off in Fox shares after the offer was extended and rejected. He said the reaction makes the deal unattractive to Fox shareholders. Is there an implicit "for now" at the end of that statement? Meaning, is he going to come back later on?
Well, look, I think Rupert Murdoch has shown that he's a deal maker. He is someone who has, on the whole, gotten what he wants over time. So I don't think we can rule this out forever and ever, though Mr. Murdoch is 83 years old. So presumably he's not going to be at this game indefinitely. However, I think the consensus is this deal is back on the shelf for the moment.
Is it possible that that maybe the fundamentals didn't look as good as we thought they did? That maybe it's not about the price, but this idea that that there could be $1 billion in back office savings between the two companies just wasn't feasible. That sounds like a nice thing you say when you're planning a merger that maybe isn't rational.
Well, there was an enormous amount of scrutiny of all of the numbers and the suggestions that Fox made about how this new business would be run. As you were discussing in the previous segment, there's also a culture clash. Time Warner tends to be a very differently run company than Fox and News Corp before it was 21st Century Fox. So there were financial reasons, there were potentially regulatory obstacles, there was a cultural issue. This was a very hard deal to pull off, and Rupert Murdoch, for now, has admitted defeat.
He's admitted defeat for now, but you wonder what this does for the rest of the industry. Yesterday, our senior West Coast correspondent John Ehrlichman spoke with Disney's CEO Bob Iger about the failed bill. Take a listen.
The offer that was made, as we know, was not well received. And Rupert, I'm also guessing, must have determined that unless Time Warner was willing to engage, he was going to have a hard time accomplishing what he wanted to accomplish. It's a tough thing to do under hostile circumstances. And again, I can only speculate that Rupert didn't want to pursue it under hostile circumstances. But I don't know that for sure.
There's a lot we don't know for sure, but Time Warner is in play. It's been made in play because of what Rupert Murdoch did. Does Disney, CBS, or even a tech company like Google have a play here?
I think that's a very interesting question, Scarlett. The genesis of all this was a rumor that actually both Google and Fox were looking at bids for Time Warner. Time Warner has some very attractive content. There is no brand in the American media like HBO in terms of churning out hit television over and over again. That's a big part of the story. Warner Brothers, of course. If we do take the view that, as it was 10 or 15 years ago, content is king, well, Time Warner is sitting on some of the best content, so you have to assume there could be others out there.